Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be looking at the top 10 sexiest doctors. No, not those sexy doctors, we're talking about the Doctor, as in Doctor Who. While most other long-running franchises, James Bond for example, expect you to ignore that their protagonists look like entirely different people over the years, Doctor Who cleverly accounts for its changing lineup. You see, the Doctor as an alien Time Lord is basically immortal. Following death, he respawns into a new form that retains the complete memories of all his previous incarnations. Each new Doctor isn't exactly the same, though. They manifest with different looks, quirks, different fashion styles, and of course, different levels of sexiness. Who knew that disheveled British hobo was an actual fashion type? The second Doctor, played by Patrick Troughton, he made it work though, setting himself completely apart from the original Doctor's buttoned-up, dapper elegance. And yes, he's a bit on the old and wrinkly side, perhaps a bit frumpy with a face only a mother Time Lord could love, but he was just so damn cheeky and mischievous that you couldn't help but love him. Also, bonus points for being the only Doctor to successfully rock a massive shaggy fur coat. Sure, his fashion style seems like a cricket-playing 70s pimp mixed with Alan Thicke's growing pains dad, but like most of the Doctors, he really owned the look. Remember Fly Guy from 1988's I'm Gonna Get You Sucker? He wore those high-rise pimp boots that were actually little goldfish tanks. Peter Davidson's Fifth Doctor was kind of like that. I mean, the man wore a leafy stalk of celery in his jacket lapel and still somehow managed to pull the look off. Before we move on to the next item on our list, I'd like to take a moment to ask that you remember to like the video and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us out. And now, back to our list. Big white afro? Check. Dressed like he raided Liberace's closet? Check. Laying beatdowns left and right with his Venusian Aikido? Check. Pertwee's Doctor was a big departure from his predecessors. Most other incarnations of the Doctor, both before and after him, tended to avoid violence in favor of rational discourse, using cleverness and logic as their weapons of choice. Pertwee, on the other hand, was much more likely to judo chop a guy than do a few donuts around the parking lot in his tricked-out hovercraft. His fashion style was also very much of that era, favoring capes, velvet jackets, ruffled shirts, much more resembling Austin Powers than any of the other Time Lords. And sure, he might be a bit old, but he's a man of action, and you know that ladies love a silver fox. One of the most iconic Doctors, especially for old-school Whovians, Tom Baker thoroughly epitomized the role. But what made him so popular? With 147 episodes, he has the longest tenure playing the Doctor. Also, Baker had the shaggy hair, he had the knitted scarf. He was just so goofy that he made it absolutely cool. Sexy though, you may be asking? Well, even though he may be only a 3 or 4 on the hotness scale, that translates into a solid 6 in the UK. This Doctor got short-shrifted by only getting a single TV movie appearance, at least until an older, grittier version of him cameoed briefly in a more recent episode, 2013's The Night of the Doctor. McGann's original appearance was in 1996, during those dark times of the 15-year gap when there was no Doctor Who series on the air. Although McGann's Doctor often finds himself at the bottom of many fan-favorite lists, it's lucky for him that we're not doing a popularity contest here. This is a sexy contest, and the Eighth Doctor, with his flowing curly locks and his Edwardian-era fashion style, manages to edge out other more popular Doctors. Peter Capaldi was one of the more aged actors to ever play the role of the Doctor, and his first season was definitely a bit shaky. It seemed as though the writers didn't really have a firm grip on what they wanted this Doctor to be. Thankfully, both the plots as well as the Doctor's fashion sense began loosening up and getting way more cool in his later seasons. Ratty rock and roll t-shirts and hoodies started appearing under his fitted jacket, his hair got a lot wilder, and he started accessorizing his look with sunglasses and an electric guitar. It's kind of like Capaldi's Doctor of the first season had a little Time Lord baby with Keith Richards. Truly a massive upgrade, resulting in Capaldi making it to the number 5 spot on our list. I know, a very controversial Doctor. This incarnation of the time-skipping alien managed to alienate many longtime fans, not because she was a she instead of a he, but more due to the heavy-handed identity politics that managed to completely saturate the show. Add this to the fact that the 13th Doctor had the fashion sense of a third grader, and you can see why many fans were a bit annoyed at her. But all that stuff aside, when it comes down to it, she's a cute blonde chick, and that helps you get pretty high on this particular list. The man responsible for introducing the Doctor to a whole new generation of viewers, Eccleston's 9th Doctor, didn't fool around with any silly outfits or quirky items of flair. He wore a black leather jacket, a black v-neck t-shirt, black jeans, and working man's boots. He truthfully looked more like a soccer hooligan than a TimeLord, and yet he made it just as much of an iconic look as any other Doctor. Plus, Eccleston, he's a big rangy guy. He looks more likely to throw a headbutt than a sharp witticism, and yet, when the situation called for it, this Doctor could bust out a big goofy grin and get just as quirky as any of the others. Matt Smith's 11th Doctor did the seemingly impossible. He stepped in to fill the Converse sneakers of David Tennant, and actually did a pretty good job. Many fans have him ranked as the best Doctor of all time. Did you ever know a guy that looked so odd that it came off as kind of hot? A kind of stealth handsomeness? That's totally the vibe this Doctor had. And talk about owning your style. He had the tweedy college professor outfit, the bow ties, the high water pants. Just impeccable. And just for the heck of it, if he got bored, he'd start wearing a cowboy hat or a fez for a few episodes. Yeah, I said fez. Matt Smith would plop it on his head, and he'd declare that fezzes are cool, and magically it became so.
It's a fez. I wear a fez now. Fezzes are cool.
And finally, we've arrived at the top spot on our list of the top 10 sexiest Doctors. For most modern Whovians, David Tennant's 10th Doctor is the Doctor, edging out even the Great One himself, Tom Baker. Tennant's hair was the perfect blend of somehow messy yet styled. He wore a suit and tie, but then dressed down the look with some well-broken-in Converse All-Stars. At the time, Tennant was the youngest actor to fill the role, and that added a sense of much-needed youthful vitality to the Doctor. And then there was the love story with Rose Tyler. Sure, other Doctors had their companions, their mild flirtations, their relationships. Even the very first Doctor had a wife. But none of these relationships really compare to the smoldering, heart-rending, ultimately doomed pairing of the 10th Doctor and Rose Tyler. Well, that does it for today's video, guys. Thanks for going on this journey with us. Let us know how you liked it in the comments section, if you have your list structured some other way, if you want to yell at me for not putting Tom Baker at number 1, and also don't forget to like the video and subscribe to our channel as we bring you more intriguing and thoughtful content in the future.